Awesome.
What about for entrepreneurs who are, let's say they've now arrived to a certain level. Let's say their company is already over 10, 20, 30 million dollars. And they hit kind of the glass ceiling. I'm sure you've been through that too as well, where they feel like this is as good as it gets, or they are stuck. What advice would you have for them?
You know, my advice is when someone gets stuck is trying to understand what's their vision for themselves.
Do you see the glass ceiling in your career? Do you feel like it's a certain number, like maybe the 1 million, and then is it a 10 million? Is it like 100 million?
Yeah, no, I think it was probably very textbook. I hit it at 1 million and had problems and fired my company and started again. I hit it at 10 million and we had some franchise challenges and had to rebuild and restructure a bit. 100 million, we almost bankrupted the company.
Oh, talk to us about that. What happened?
Yeah, so we got from 2 million to 106 million.
In what period of time?
In 7 years.
Yes. That's still massive growth. That's
massive growth. It was great. So I had Cameron Harold, who was my COO at the time.
Right.
He was running the business with me.
Right.
And two ADD, very shoot from the hip entrepreneurs running something together. Even though he was a hired gun, we were very ADD, and it was just, we were making big decisions quickly. And I realized as the business started to grow, we needed more rigor and discipline. So unfortunately, I had to get Cameron out. We're still very close friends today. We talked yesterday. He is somebody, though, that firing my best friend, where I was his best man in his wedding, is a tough decision.
Wow, that's a tough one.
But I say in the book that the right thing is very rarely the easy thing. You know, you got to do the hard thing that is for the business. Cameron and I realized, and you know, he's done tons of TED Talks and books, and he's very successful in the speaking circuit. We realized that we weren't the two right leaders to take this to the next level. So we had hit a ceiling. I had to get him out. I then went and shopped for a COO, and I found an ex-Starbucks president to come in and run my little company. But
and you thought Starbucks, no problem.
Jackpot.
Exactly.
I love the Starbucks brand.
Yes.
This person had done great work, but it wasn't a cultural fit for me. This person hadn't had experience working with entrepreneurs and didn't quite get me. And so we drifted apart. The vision wasn't the right one, and I had to get that person out. And we did so much damage in
what way?
Year.
Like, how could you go from like doing so much revenue into near bankruptcy? I want to.
So we dropped 40 million in revenue in a year.
Wow.
And so it was a big drop. And
because of just too many initiatives?
Too many initiatives, spending money in the wrong places, taking risks that I didn't feel comfortable with.
Okay.
And so we were running the business a little disconnected.
Got it.
And I just said, you know, this isn't working. And I had to get that person out because I saw the writing on the wall. 40 million drop in revenue. I had to then get in and get rid of that person's entire leadership team because they were following the Starbucks COO's vision. And I had to start again. So I elevated middle-level managers to that top position and said, you know,
this was how many years ago?
This was 2008. So it was also during the financial meltdown.
Yeah, this is not a good time. 2008 plus this internal problem.
Yeah, it was not a good time. It was a perfect storm. Laid off 52 people that year. We had to hunker down, really cut costs, and rebuild the business.
Yes.
And it took a few years to rebuild, but the nice thing is, again, we learned from it. And it helped me understand who I was looking for as my integrator, as the right person to work with me. And of course, I was so clear on what I was looking for that I found Eric.
During that time, 2008, did it ever cross your mind, like this company could go under, like what you spent years building could like
Yeah,
vanish?
I felt like I was going to lose my baby that I'd built for 20 years.
Yes.
So we were 3 days away from me selling the company. So we had run out of money, we'd overspent, we were seeking private equity to help save us. Now this was an initiative that my COO was chasing. And so trying to raise money, the private equity company actually sat down with me and said, I don't think you need to raise money. I think you need to hunker down. And I think you can fix this company and save it without giving up more than 50% for a little bit of cash, $5 million.
That's a nice private equity guy.
You know what? He was amazing because I took him for lunch years and years later and just said how heartfelt that moment was, that he really believed that what the COO wanted and what I wanted weren't aligned, and he felt he needed to let me know. And it was, you know, extremely grateful.
And from there, what changes did you make?
So from there, we hunkered down and sort of right-sized the company.
Okay.
and then said, okay, you know, one person who's the wrong person in a company, even though they're a good person who's done better at their next business.
Correct.
The wrong person for you, the wrong leader for you can just about destroy the company.
Correct.
So I said my whole, it's all about people philosophy, finding the right people and treating them right. I need to find that right person at the top.
Right.
And that's where I got down. I took a sheet of paper and I listed on one side, what am I good at? What do I love to do?
Yes.
But what does the business require that I'm bad at
Yes.
and I don't love to do? And I need to find someone who can do those things.
Yes.
Who it lies within their wheelhouse,
I'd love to see
their passion.
get a copy of that.
You know, I mean, it was really things like I don't like looking at financials.
Yes.
I don't like holding people accountable to goals.
Yes.
I don't like sitting down and having too many meetings.
Yes.
I don't like running meetings. I don't like hiring.
Yes.
But I like the culture, the fun, the building, the inspiring,
Yes.
the
Come up with
dreaming, the
ideas. Yes.
strategy.
Yes.
So I needed somebody, Eric,
Who's very
who
good
was
with
great
that.
at those things, and that's his background.
Perfect.
I mean, I
This is
think his
awesome.
favorite part of the day is the 8 a.m. leadership team call. He checks in, what's going on, how
Yes.
can I help? I don't have to do that,
Love that.
but he loves that.
I love that. And then it's interesting because now when you meet with people in the office, when people see you like walking around, what's that like? Do they walk up to, hey, Brian, I'm working on this? Or like, what's that like? Or just like to see what people are like working on?
Yeah, I walk around the office. I don't have a desk. I just go move around so I
Yes.
can sit and learn from
This is
and
actually
get to know.
fascinating because when we set up this interview, right, with Jennifer,
Yeah.
and we're saying, okay, so I think we can set up in Brian's office, right? You know,
Yeah.
the CEO's office.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, Brian doesn't have an office. I said, what do you mean Brian doesn't have an office? He doesn't have an office, just walks around and works wherever. I said, so we have to get a room like this in a boardroom to do the interview. I find that fascinating.
Well, to me,
I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Why it works for me is me understanding that I work best when I'm connecting with people.
Yes.
I want to connect with different people. I don't like the fact that as we're
Too isolated,
growing,
yeah.
and I don't know everyone anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know every person, and so it's a great way to go sit next to someone and get to know them,
Yes.
to hear what's going on in the business.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sheltered in a private office where I can't hear the excitement and the problems we're solving and what's going on. So I've always done that, and I've never had a desk because I don't want to be forced to sit in one place. I don't have files. I don't have
It's
papers.
true that entrepreneurs have ADD. It's true.
Right.
Right. We have to
And
walk
so get
around.
rid of distractions.
Yes, yes. And what's your day-to-day like? What do you focus on in terms of those highly productive activities?
I think my number one is sharing the vision with people through stories. So connecting future entrepreneurs, you know, I'll meet people who go, wow, this Wow One Day Painting thing is so awesome. How do I get in? How can I grow a business with you? Sharing stories through podcasts, through the press, through interviews, sharing stories here through Huddle. I think I'm sort of the chief storyteller, the chief culture builder.
Yeah.
And I'm spending a lot of time doing that.
What kind of
Writing
chief
a
vision
book.
officer?
Yeah.
It is. That's a
Yeah.
good name.
Yeah.
Chief vision officer. It
And,
is. Like
and
that.
writing the book was a great way to get what's worked in the past, what kind of vision we have for the future out to all of our people, our truck team members. We have our franchise partners for all of our brands that
Yes.
bought books, that are reading books, who are giving them out.
Yes.
And so that's my role. I think my day-to-day, my week-to-week, if you want a rhythm, is Monday I work out of the office.
Yeah. Okay.
So I go work from a coffee shop or maybe 5 coffee shops because I'll get ADD and move around. I love being caffeinated.
Let me
It keeps
guess.
me focused.
Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly. I love
Yeah.
Starbucks, but I'll go to any coffee shop.
Yeah.
I'll put on my headphones,
Yes.
I'll do some work, I'll
Okay.
catch up on email, I'll
Yes.
make plans for the future.
Yes.
I will then also come back to the office for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, where
Okay.
I'm back to back to back in meetings.
Okay.
And so that's when I get to connect with people,
Okay.
help guide any of the activities that we're working on.
But you meet with like not just the directors, like anyone.
All sorts of people. It depends what we're working on. If we're working on social media, it might be the social media team.
Got it. Got it.
And then Fridays are my free day.
Okay.
Now, transparently, the last 90 days I've been so busy on a book tour that I have worked some Fridays, but typically on a year-to-year basis, I would not be working Fridays. That's my day to go skiing or hang out with the family or
Yes.
go connect with some
The
friends,
free day. Yes.
go walk the dog, whatever. And so for me, it's my chance to recharge. I work hard,
Yes.
play hard.
Yes.
And I find as someone who does have strong ADD that I'm better staying focused and getting a bunch done and then having time to recharge and enjoy life. And then
What
repeat.
about Saturday and Sunday? That's just a day off.
Family day, no email, I get my assistant when I go away on vacation to change my passcode on my email. So Jennifer,
We're just talking about like 8 weeks in a year.
yeah, so I'll
Go
take
dark,
usually
right?
3, I call it going dark. I'll take 3 weeks around the Christmas holidays
Okay, 3
and 5
weeks.
weeks during the summer.
Okay.
And I'll go out with my family. And last year we went to Spain and France and Kenya. And so I will disconnect and I will not check email,
I
not
see.
once. So
I
in
see.
that 5-week period, if the office burns down, call 911. You know, I can't do anything, but I'm away, I'm unplugged, and we
Yes.
want our people to do the same thing.
Yes.
So we say that everybody needs to have a backup to their role. And once you do,
including
you've
you.
got somebody doing your role. So Eric is my backup and I'm his. When you've got it covered, go dark and take that
How
time.
often you talk to Eric?
Eric and I talk a couple times a week at least.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're not talking every single day because
Wow.
he's doing his thing, I'm doing mine. We use the term divide and conquer. And he'll be on the road, or I'll be on the road, or he'll be in
Maybe in
different
the
meetings,
office
and we might not really see each other, and we might have a quick little hello. But sitting down and working together and having a phone call, generally a couple times a week.
and you come up with different ideas. And hey, Eric, I'm working on this. I'm thinking about this. What do you think? And he'd be okay, right?
Yeah, just supporting each other. And Eric is really good as an implementer of mine, being able to say, Brian, yeah, it's a good idea, but let's park that for a year.
Yes.
Great idea for another brand, but we're not ready for another
maybe
brand.
Q3 or something like that, right?
Exactly.
I love it.